Hello. This is Besiege, a building slash destroying game. I'm going to showcase my creation wooden battle truck, which nobody else is going to if I don't probably. Here's Tolbrint Ypsilon is the very first island in this game. I'm not going to explain this a whole lot, so we can actually get to see the thing in action. It's this Battle Platform 5, and it appears that it's kind of laggy with all this stuff going on. Maybe not too bad. Let's see here. In this mode it seems to be working okay. Okay. Well, the easiest way to win this is, I think, to just get relatively close and then use the close shot with the catapult here. It's got this kind of an arrow shield there. We'll get to see the use of that in later zones. I'm just going to play through some of these zones, so they, I think, give a decent idea. Is that a bomb or just a rock? I think it's just a rock there. Let's not be. Let's destroy it with this. Let's use all sorts of ways of destroying stuff. Here's something where we do want to absolutely use this bomb clearer. Something already exploded. Probably a ship ran over a landmine. Okay, I might... Even though these are made out of metal, these things, they sometimes still kind of break. I'm kind of worrying about that. And this time they broke indeed. Well, as long as I can get through this, we have to get to that that thing over there. As long as we have something that we can destroy the bombs with, and something's below me, so I am steering to the right, I think. There's some rubble there. Even though it does have some ground clearance, this thing, it might have benefited from a bit more, but I already am using the whole Z-axis of this build box. So, not much I can do. I could maybe have this and this. Why is it lagging in the build mode? I don't understand. If I lowered this one by one block, that might not mess with everything, but yeah, it would be a lot of work to do a lot of bug testing, kind of get this reloading mechanism to work with a new height. I mean, I would have to lower this whole thing then. Well, let's just use a medium shot to destroy this arrow. And I still exploded. Why? Well, this game is kind of random sometimes. I don't even want to mess with those people. I do have this arrow shield. It would protect me a decent bit. Why don't I do that? Let's do that. Let's showcase this arrow shield in action. Yeah, these are kind of archers here. And there's a bomb here placed, so even if I used something like the crossbows, I could probably... yeah, I can destroy that even with the crossbows. So... this map zone is still not over. We need to destroy those two things. By the way, there's the kind of a... another camera mode which is actually kind of useful. Now I have some kind of rubble. They managed to break a little piece of my arrow shield there. Let's put the kind of catapult arm momentum stopper to its low position, so the catapult will shoot these things up high and then use a long shot. It has short shot C, low velocity shot, I should probably call it a medium velocity shot with V, and then a high velocity shot with B. I think this might hit... yeah, it hit one of those things. Now let's get into another position. So now we actually don't need to reload, but if I did, it would be left shift to reload from left side, and left control to reload from that side. There are two extra bombs on each side. Let's see if I can hit the ruins of the windmill there. Well, it was kind of short. It fell a bit short. It doesn't have the best range, this thing. Now there's a good shot. But it does its job. Let's see here. What's next? Ah, yes, Queen's Fodder. Now this is a fun one. I don't necessarily need to be that quick about this because of this arrow shield. If this wasn't this well protected, I would probably be already gone boom. But since I do have this thing here, yeah, we can just take our time. These soldiers here in Ypsilon don't really do much. They just kind of walk toward your creation and then, then just kind of bounce around. So there are multiple ways to beat this thing. Is it... yes, just pressing V gets rid of the archers, which is the biggest threat to this machine at the very least. I suppose to pretty much any others, unless you accidentally hit one of those bombs there. Let's just get to the next zone then. The old mining site. Ah, here we get to use the grabber arm. It's comma and dots, and then a minus key to ungrab something. Hopefully, I mean the instructions for this are all in the this Steam Workshops thing. You'll figure it out. I can even grab both of these since I have two grabber arms. If I could just... I accidentally pushed it off the edge there, but there. Let's raise this high up so I can slam them at the finish line there. Well, that didn't really work as I had planned. Oh well. We get to do this a bit more. It would have been fun to just kind of slam them at the thing. There we go. We still have one extra thing we haven't really touched. It's the cannons. Let's see if we... here might be a decent place to showcase the cannon. So, F to make them shoot up higher, that's the maximum angle, and then R to lower them. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to fire them in this order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's see if I can... there could be a better camera mode for this thing, I suppose, but we'll make do. Let's see, is this... No, that's not good enough. That was good enough, a shot. And then thin side fort. We just need to use explosive to destroy the fort. Well, that should be relatively easy. Let's just start with V for a zone clear. I don't seem to really get much use for these extra shots, even though I have them. I kind of want to just run around with this thing, not just to beat all these zones. But let's... Shall we do a... I want to get to the... if it wasn't laggy for whatever reason, there are... well, lag, I think, refers to kind of multiplayer internet lag, you know. It's more like slowdown or whatever. But I just want to run around with this thing to end things off. And what better place to do it than the sandbox mode? So this thing can go up some shallow, gentle slopes. Not any kind of ridiculous slopes. It's unfortunately not equipped to deal with that. But the thing I maybe even like the most about this thing maybe is how this this bomb carrier thing just bounces around when I do all these crazy maneuvers here. It's I don't know. I kind of it could maybe be more. Have been a more functional design with maybe steam cannon instead of catapult arm, but oh well, you know. One can't always get everything, and maybe the grabber / blade armor could be more functional. It mostly just works in some of the missions that it does its job to a degree, and then if you need any, for example, there was I think it in Valfros one. It might have been the third place where you have to kind of get a lid of some kind of a it was Duke's Knowledge or whatever, where you have to get a lid of some kind of a box, and then there's inside of that there's a book which you have to kind of grab, and this design isn't suitable to deal with that. Other things it's not supposed to deal with are fire. Obviously, it's made out of wood, so if you get some kind of fires or bombs lobbed at you, you're dead, Jim. And then it can't fly. This game doesn't. Flying seems to really reduce the amount of complexity you can put into a machine. I probably will try to do my best in my maybe next serious creation if I feel like continuing with this even. I mean, that's always up in the air. This is my first serious creation, I call it. So I'm not sure if I finished what I was about to say. Ah, yes, these grabber arms sometimes grab things they aren't really supposed to. Just press minus at times when it seems like it's prudent. We appear to be pretty much stuck. Can we unstick ourselves? How about some... Let's put some... that's unstuck ourselves. We put some extra... The arm broke, apparently. It sometimes does that. I mean, it's not... It works like 90% of the time, and then it just randomly seems to just kind of get stuck, or something breaks there. I tried to. I mean, if I can't really, have this wooden bit here any shorter than these 3 blocks. Maybe from that side I could, without major overhaul to this craft, since it has to hit this momentum stopper some here. I appear to have added a decoupler there to kind of I tried to fix that problem, but apparently it still exists to some degree. Oh well, maybe in the next craft I'll get it perfect. Another thing it doesn't do all that well is reloading in while in movement. It can reload multiple shots. That's not great, obviously. If the bomb gets to if another bomb gets to kind of this area, it will just get pushed by the piston here when you release the button thing. This reloading mechanism is I feel like it is a slight improvement from something I saw. It moves back. It moves a longer way than what the thing that I found somewhere. I don't really have any credits for this. I just got some ideas from all over the place, and it's... I still would call it mine. It doesn't really have any outright copied blocks. I don't feel like I did build it myself, so no copyright issues. I feel like should be. It just mimics some things I saw, and see, I mean there could always be whatever. It's a kind of a block-based game. That's what still so. There are only so many permutations of things. Okay, that exploded since it had that extra dangerous thing of 2 bombs in the holder there. Anyway, yes, it doesn't fly either. That's one of the drawbacks of this design. I might want to try that in my next creation. Then let's see here. These don't really swivel in the. They don't have a raw. Wait. Yaw, I think that's the word. I think pitch is the kind of. This movement roll is, I think it's that kind of a weird that, and then there's yaw, so that's what I'm talking about here. A previous version did have that, but then I wanted to, then I heard that maybe you would like to have these at extra power, extra oomph, these cannons. So then I just. Well, it broke anyway, but it can withstand quite decent impact. This design. There were 3 cannonballs shot at the same time. It can't always deal with the full 6 at the same time, but it can deal with pretty high throwback. Yes. Oh, also it isn't. It has all this kind of weird incline to this reloading mechanism here, so it really is a. I wanted to make it a quick reload, even though reloading quickly is also something that's not really all that recommended. At the very least, you should wait until this arm is at the bottom and then that the bomb has kind of settled before you fire in the hole. Anyway, I think that's a decent showcase of this. I don't know what's going on in this with the mouse. It says that the frame rate is pretty decent there in the top right corner. It might just be some kind of an issue with me recording this at the same time. I really have no idea. Whatever. It has been a decent showcase, I feel like. Bye.